and thank you for tuning in to the Automation and Self-Service podcast. I'm your host, Sandra Carpenter, editor of Vending Times and Kiosk Marketplace. Today, we're joined by Melanie Day, owner of You've Got Curls and Hair Loss Center, and creator of In Living Curls College Beauty Supply. Thank you for joining us, Melanie.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you. We've been kind of like crossing paths a little bit here and there since, and remind me of when the vending machine in Morehead went live, but the beauty vending machine on Morehead's campus was like pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, so we actually went live with that. I believe it was like the end of September. So September was like an intense month because we had two activations. The week before, I think it was at Center College, and then that last week was at Morehead. So we had a lot going on that month in September of last year.
That's amazing. So could you tell me a little bit about the vending machine itself and how that process got started and like kind of where the need for these vending machines come from, especially in places like Morehead and Eastern Kentucky?
Sure, yeah. So I'm a licensed cosmetologist by trade. So I've been behind the chair for almost 20 years. And with that, I see a variety of clients, and I do have quite a bit of college students that come to see me. And because of where I'm located in Lexington, so we're
Mhm.
centrally located. So I get a lot of students from other areas such as like Berea and other parts of Eastern Kentucky that come through because there's just nothing there, especially if you have textured hair, curly hair. There's no one there to
Yeah.
really to manage it for you. So that's kind of how the conversation got started. Was the students at Berea? They were like, there's no one here for us to do our hair. Even when we go to Walmart, the ethnic aisle doesn't really have anything. Products are stuck in the back of the store, but you still don't have what you need. So, just kind of listening to their feedback, I was like, I wonder if there's something else that can be done. And, that was before COVID. So
Okay.
this process kind of didn't happen overnight, but it was a combination of conversations over the years with students, and then COVID, and then just everything else kind of brought it to play.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So, when you wanted to make sure that these products were available, vending machines as a technology, was that like your first go to, or did you have to like kind of brainstorm a little bit?
Honestly, like I had to brainstorm a bit. Now,
Okay.
when I was looking back through like my notes and like business plans, this is my thinking. It's like always write things down because like when you put things out there, like kind of subconsciously, you will gravitate towards it at some point, and
Yeah.
it will become a reality. So when I was writing plans for the future, like 6, 7 years ago,
Wow.
this was a thought that I had was I want products on the college campus. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I want it on the campus. And the idea of vending machines, that's nothing new, especially
Right.
when you look like in Asian countries like Japan, and there's
Hmm.
everything inside of vending
Yes.
machines. So, and there were some projects here, in locally in the U.S. that were doing very similar things. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a concept that might work.
Incredible. So you seem to have, in addition to allowing these products to be available via self-service technologies like vending machines, you seem to have a strong dedication towards personalized hair care.
Mhm.
How does the concept of self-service through vending machines align with that personalized approach, especially whenever we're thinking about the unique needs of curly hair or different kinds of hair textures?
I think you have to be strategic. I also come from a retail background, so when you're thinking about your customer base, like you have to be strategic in what their needs are and
Mhm.
what they're looking for, and not so much what you want. Like, oh, well, I would love to have a chocolate candy bar, but maybe the clientele might want something healthier, so you have to put in there
Yeah.
what sells, right? So for me, it was more of what is the need of that particular audience, but
Right.
also incorporating my skill set as a licensed cosmetologist. And I think that's what really sets our company apart. Our company is not just a company that just sells stuff, but we're very mindful of what we put inside of our machines,
Yeah.
whether it's locally curated items, making sure that we incorporate
Amazing.
local businesses, or also being mindful of what what students are looking for, whether they like things or whether they don't, based on
Yeah.
trends. Because sometimes kids can be fickle. I mean, I mean,
Sometimes.
and that's the reality of things. But
Yeah.
also too, from what we've learned, and then like what I've learned from being behind the chair, is that not underestimating the basics,
Yeah.
right? So when you go to the store, there's so many different options of
Right.
just as shampoo. But if you haven't been exposed to understanding why you should use a particular product versus just, Dial or Dove soap, I mean, you can use anything to shampoo your hair with. You can.
Yeah.
But understanding the whys behind it, that's what's needed. So I really had to simplify my thinking with
Yeah.
that, because when students come on campus for the first time, it's a first for everything. They're learning about themselves. This is the first time that they've had to buy maybe personal items for themselves. Maybe it's
hmm
the first time that they've even, known how to do their own hair, because maybe
Yeah.
they come from a family that maybe they're the only one that has hair like that, that has
Right.
curly hair or highly textured hair. And so now they're on campus and they don't know what to do, right?
Right.
So that was another part of the equation with having these conversations with students in my chair, that these were real world experiences that they were having. And I was mentioning to myself, like, how can I make the process easier for them, being
Yeah.
away from home, and then also trying to manage their hair, because that's a stressor. That
Right.
is a huge stressor.
Oh, yeah, especially your freshman year. You're
Hmm.
so concerned about, I mean, everything is so new and so big. So something
Yeah,
that was so routine or maybe, easy at home might be even more stressful at school. I have a couple of follow-up questions. So
sure.
the vending machines themselves, what kinds of products are in them?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we're more of a beauty and wellness, right? So it's hair care, it's skincare, and wellness items. So whatever fits in that parameter is essentially like what we would have.
Awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
and then have you had a chance? Because I know it's not. They started in September in Morehead, and I think one was prior to that, correct?
Two or prior, yes. So
Two or
our very first activation in the state of Kentucky was at Berea College.
Oh,
And that was,
okay,
yeah, so that was February of 2023.
nice.
Then October of 23 was our second one. That's at Transylvania University.
Okay,
And then in 2024, in September 2024, was Center College in Morehead State.
amazing, amazing. Okay, I so there's four.
There's four.
Four across the state, which is
Uh-huh.
huge.
Yeah.
Especially I know, especially in terms of Berea and Morehead University, Berea College and Morehead University, they're big first generation students,
Very
college
much
student
so.
campuses. So to have
Yeah.
those resources and hopefully have them in an accessible and affordable way is huge for
Yes.
kids who maybe never step foot on a college campus.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's I will say that our just starting out at Morehead, and well, not starting out at Morehead, starting out at Berea. Berea is
Mhm.
such an incredible place. It is so
Yeah,
special in so many different ways, right?
yeah,
And the things that they do for their students and making sure that they have everything that they need, and having conversations with some of the students, it's like some students were actually walking 30 minutes to the store, 30 minutes back. That's an hour round trip, right?
yeah,
To go to the store and then realize that there's really nothing there for you.
yeah.
And you have Amazon, but depending where you are, especially like in Morehead, Amazon doesn't deliver to certain areas.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it doesn't always deliver to certain areas. So
Yeah,
that may not be an option. So it's been really beautiful to see administrators realize and understand the needs of their students.
yeah,
And I think the trend is very holistic and whole being,
yeah.
right? With student success, especially in that realm. that
Right.
it's not so much about, academics, but how can we make life easier in the transition on
Yeah.
campus, easier for students?
Yeah.
So whether it's pantries, whether it's,
Yeah.
personal care items, whatever it is. So I'm happy that the campuses are taking advantage of this.
Yeah, yeah, it's really important, and I think that it's more than just. And I've read you say similar things. Like it's more than just cosmetics. This is about confidence and someone's sense of self, and
Mhm.
especially whenever you're in college, you're learning how to become a professional. You're training, hopefully, for what your profession might be,
Yeah.
and so to have the resources to do that and to do it in a way that you can feel most confident is a huge deal.
Yeah.
My second follow-up question is just what has the reception been? How have the students, have you gotten feedback?
Lots of feedback. I
Yeah.
mean, the students love it. They love it. They love it from the standpoint of an entrepreneur point of view.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of curiosity, like, well, how did you get this started? Like, who, all like their minds are turning, which is great.
Yeah.
I this is how can I describe it? It's kind of like we're figuring it out along the way, right?
Right.
It's new for everyone,
Hmm.
and especially like at Berea, it was I had two interns, and they helped me in the very beginning as far as just like getting feedback from the students, what the price is. One of my interns actually, she just graduated this past December, but her major was business marketing and economics.
What a cool
And with
opportunity.
her input, that's how we were able to develop pricing, and based on, yeah, so we had student input from the very beginning
That's
based on
amazing.
their feedback. So this is very how can I say, grassroots
Yes, it
in a
sounds like
sense.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very grassroots, and that's pretty much how I've built my business with the
Mhm.
salon. I don't do a lot of advertising. A lot of what I do is word of mouth and community related.
That's
So I've
incredible.
kind of followed the same concept.
Yeah. And now you're all over the state
Yeah.
via these machines, which is really incredible. I want to dig into just a little bit about if you faced any kind of challenges in hair product vending machines themselves, especially given the specific needs of different kinds of hair and proper product selection, and maybe even just getting the machines like on campuses.
Yeah. So owing to the last part, so as far as the challenges on campuses, and with any institution really,
Yeah.
um, there's so many layers.
Hmm.
And when you're working with large corporations or institutions, it's not just one person who makes a decision. A lot of times it's teams, right?
Right.
You have a variety of stakeholders that are involved. So really helping stakeholders to understand the vision, right? Painting the picture. Why is this important to their institution? What will this do for them? So initially, when you think of a vending machine, a lot of people think of a snack vending machine. It's
Mhm.
trying to get that concept out of your head
Right.
is hard. So that's where I had to re-educate, because they didn't know. It's like, oh, when you say vending machine, like, around the corner where I just hit A0 and get like a some grippos. Like, we're not getting grippos, but we're it's we're doing something different. So helping them understand that it's not just like a snack machine.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I think was, see, the challenge, that was one challenge. Um, hmm. Even with products, once again, this is a brave new world. So, machines were originally built for snacks and
Right.
for drinks, right?
Yeah.
So even when it came to things working or fitting, that was a challenge. So we had to, navigate through that.
Yeah, that's fascinating. That's not something, so you have to select product not only on what is the need and the desire, but what physically fits in the machine that you've chosen, and
Uh-huh.
that can be challenging for sure. Um, I'm wondering if you have future plans for expanding, specifically in regards to the vending machine or integrating any kind of technology in your services in the future.
Yes, yes. So we do have plans for expanding. So we're not just for college campuses, and
Okay.
as you wrote in your article, we're looking at private and public institutions. So
Nice.
that could be schools, that could be hospitals, that could be arenas, pretty much private and public institutions that our model would work well with.
Right, right. Airports would be a good one.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this has been fascinating. Is there anything else you want to let our listeners know about your experience in kind of delving into the vending machine arena?
Yes, I will say that it is an ever growing. It is very growing. I mean, it's the growth of this um, has been remarkable. And I'm excited to see, like I mentioned earlier, um, stakeholders that see the vision.
Hmm.
That's what excites me. So I encourage anyone who's listening to this podcast and the replay, because I'm sure it's going to go international, national, that to really think about the needs of your community, whether it's schools, hospitals, military installations, airports, whatever it might be, to really think about the needs and convenience, right? Because now self automation is here to stay.
Yeah.
Is here to stay. At the same time, it some people say that it's a negative, but you can also kind of focus more of your time on with real people, right?
Hmm.
You can do other things. So technology in itself is not bad. It's not bad. It's just how you use it. And I think the other question you might have asked me earlier was how have we used technology with our business model.
Hmm.
So of course the vending machines, we're using technology because it's AI with our machines, but also we educate. We're not just selling products, and that's one thing I really want to get across is
Yeah.
that this is what sets us apart. This is our differentiator, right? We're not just hustling products, but we are educating.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's like I said, as a licensed cosmetologist for 20 years, I'm coming at this from that point of view, and also as a hair loss specialist from that point of view, right?
Right.
We educate the community and students. So by social media, um, at the University of Kentucky, for example, we actually helped the university by hosting their first ever natural hair care expo on campus. Over 300 students attended. We had
Amazing.
we had a panel discussion on hair care. We had licensed barbers, licensed braiders, licensed hair care specialists, and kids and faculty and staff. They were all coming in there, and they were able to get free product samples and things like that. So that's what's really important is
Yeah.
educating, because now you teach one, the next person teaches the next
Yeah.
person. So that's what we're really big on. We're really big on educating, and not so much like, oh well, this is how you use X, Y, and Z product, but the whys behind it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's a really like holistic transformative experience. It
it
sounds
is.
like instead of being just self-automated retail, you're
Yeah,
also like educating about like how these products are used and like
yeah,
lifestyle factors and just ways that you can take care of yourself. That sounds I'm really glad that you brought that up because I think
yeah,
that it is what
yeah,
sets businesses who are using because there is a bit of a trend about using vending machines to distribute products for like public health and wellness
yeah,
and things like that. And so for you to be doing the really important work of adding access to beauty products in places where they might not have them and
yeah,
providing that educational piece is huge. And I really appreciate
yeah.
it.
Yeah, thank you. And it's also, like our collaboration. So, we collaborate with other other professionals.
Hmm.
So whether it's mental health, like we would, have discussions on that, whatever it might be, depending on the population that we're working with. So education
Yeah.
on all fronts is very important.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for both the work that you do and for talking with us about it
You're
today.
welcome.
I'm definitely going to be following you all in your progress throughout the state of Kentucky and maybe beyond.
Yeah.
I'm really, really interested in your journey. And I appreciate you being so thoughtful in your process and sharing that with us as well.
Thank you, Sandra.
And that'll be it for this episode of the Automation and Self-Service podcast. Thank you all for joining in. And don't forget to like and subscribe.